Sefer Shemot, stories we know so well. We celebrate the events of these Sedras during the festival of Pesach. So what is there to learn this time around when we seem to know these stories so well? So how do you imagine that scene? The princess of Egypt goes to take her bath and there's a container floating down the river on the water surface, and she notices it and she asks her maidservant to fetch the box, and she opens it up and she sees a yeled. There's a child. Now at that moment she doesn't know if that's a boy or a girl, so she's still a little bit uncertain. V'nei nar bocher. The lad is crying. And her motherly instincts, her natural feelings of compassion are triggered, and she rescues the baby. Who are the characters? Imagine you were making a movie. Who would you cast in this scene? Well, there's the maidservants, obviously. There's the princess of Egypt. And there's a baby. But maybe there's somebody else. It all depends how you understand the pasuk. There's a yeled. There's a child. Then there's a na'ar bocher. So na'ar is weird because we tend to think the word na'ar seems to refer to an older child, not a baby. And Moshe was only 3 months. So the rabbis in the Gemara and Rashi quotes it. Na'ar bocher, his voice was different, sounds like an older child. That's one way of understanding it. Na'ar could be that he was a very large child and his body looked older than he was. Another approach. A third approach says, nah, he was crying so much. This baby was in trauma. He was crying and crying and crying. Like an older person. Possibly. I'll give you something different from the Chizkuni. It's so beautiful. Pharaoh's daughter's having a wash. She sees this baby, doesn't know if it's a boy or a girl. B'nei na'ar bocher. She looks around, and there's somebody else in this movie scene that you've forgotten to cast. Moshe's brother. You see, we know there's the mother, we know there's his sister Miriam who's hiding in the reeds, checking out on the baby. But where's Aaron? Where did he go off to on that fateful day? The day that his mother did something so unmotherly and put a baby on a bus in a box and sent it down a river. By the way, we know from the Psukim in Tanakh that the Egyptians were not so unfamiliar with dumping unwanted children in the River Nile. If you had a pregnancy you didn't want, you wanted to get rid of a baby, you would just sort of flush it away. So the idea that people would throw their babies away was perhaps common in ancient Egypt, but to rescue the baby, that was something a little bit different. Aaron in this scene, V'nei na'ar bocher, Aaron is there as well in this scene, not just Miriam hiding and baby Moshe and all the ladies, the princess and her maids. No. Moshe's brother, Miriam's brother, Aaron is there crying. He's crying for his baby brother. And Pharaoh's daughter, princess of Egypt, V'nei na'ar bocher, she looks around and sees a boy crying. Oh, she says, this must be one of the Israelite babies. But her compassion is triggered and she rescues the baby. If a princess of Egypt can open her eyes and see a Jewish person, Jewish baby crying, then oh boy, we should open our eyes too. So let it be the Shabbos where we can see as well, where we see and we hear. We see the baby crying. We listen to the young children crying, cries of despair. And we don't just turn and walk away and say it's somebody else's problem, brush it under the carpet, chas v'shalom. We turn, our compassion is triggered, and we do something, and we pull the baby out, and we save the day. There's a demand there. There's a demand lurking in the parasha that if she can do it, if Batya can do it, then we should do it too. Shabbat shalom.